Good evening, everybody. This is kind of a last minute show. I know it, and I apologize, but it's something I really think that needs to go and be done. Um, for those you guys don't know, this is a hard weekend for me, and it's more hard weekend for many of them. A lot of people have forgotten what Memorial Day is. Memorial Day is meant to celebrate and honor our honored fallen. Um, I've lost many brothers and sisters along the years that I served in one way or another. Um, so this is what this weekend's for. So this is going to be a hard show for me to do. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do any more shows this weekend. I may not do any this weekend. It's just I think I'm going to take time and remember. But for those that don't know, I mean, Memorial Day, yeah, I mean, yeah, you get an extra day off of work. You get, people go out on their boats and on the lakes and do all this other stuff and barbecue. That's all well and good. I'm not saying don't do it. What I'm saying is remember why we are doing it. And why we are doing it is because we have our brothers and sisters or aunts and uncles, mothers, fathers, nephews, nieces, grandchildren that's paid the ultimate price for our freedom. Um, that's what Memorial Day is. You know, a little history here. In the late 1860s, America and various towns and cities began holding tributes to the countless fallen soldiers during spring and decorated the graves with flowers. Hey, Griff, how's it going, brother? Um, Although it is unclear where exactly this tradition originated, some records indicate that one of the earliest Memorial Day ceremony or commemorations was organized by a group of formerly enslaved people in Charleston, South Carolina, less than a month after the Confederates surrendered in 1865. Despite this, the federal government declared Waterloo, New York, the official birthplace of Memorial Day in 1966. Um, Remember your history on this, folks. Water, snow, 9. Waterloo, which first celebrated the day on May 5th, 1866, was chosen because it hosted an annual community wide event during which businesses closed and residents decorated the graves of the soldiers with flowers and flags. It's exactly right, Griff. In 1971, Memorial Day was declared a national holiday by the act of Congress, though it still often is called Decoration Day. It was then so placed on the first Monday in May as where, or excuse me, last Monday of May as where some of other federal holidays. Many southern states still have their own days for honoring the Confederate dead. This is how Memorial Day came to be, folks. It's not just hey, I get an extra day for work, so I can go floating and I can drink and I can barbecue and blah blah blah. No, it's to honor our honored fallen, to honor our honored dead. The men and women who paid the ultimate price for you, for your freedom, and for you to be able to do that stuff. I'm not saying don't go out and do that. Of course, go out and do that, but remember what it took for you to be able to go out and do that. Remember who it was who paid that ultimate price, made that ultimate sacrifice so that you could. And that's why I'm doing this short live. Um, like I said a little bit ago, this is probably going to be the hardest video I ever do. Um, for me, um, this is a hard weekend, man. I got a lot of emotions on a weekend like this. I become very hermitish, reclusive. I don't do a whole lot. Although I'm trying to keep myself busy now. I used to be an alcoholic, bad enough that I went through rehab while I was in the Marines. Yes. Let me post those up. I'm sorry, I was reading Griff, but let me get to those real quick, my brother. And remember those in uniform that have paid the ultimate price for service. Exactly. There's a solemn day of remembrance for the fall. Yeah. Please remember there before you roast that hot dog. Exactly. I used to be a bad enough alcoholic that I went to rehab while I was in the Marine Corps. I was a Marine. That's why I have that tat. It's an old school. You won't never find a Marine Corps tat like that. 0331 machine gunner. Um, I loved it. I was a 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marines Gulf Company Weapons Platoon in Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii. When I got hurt and transferred to the Army, that's when I became a Pogue. I was stationed at Fort Benning, Georgia. Hey, Roxanne. And I was stationed at Fort Riley, Kansas, where I was an 89 Bravo ammo spec. I was also a combat aviation instructor at Leavenworth, Kansas. I started out in the Army as a 52 Charlie heating and air tech. I take this day very serious. And I'm going to tell you now, there's going to be a lot of people that come up to me. They do this to me every time. It's like, thank you for your service. And I have to say, I appreciate it. This day is not for me. I didn't pay the ultimate price. I didn't make that. Hey, Kathleen, I didn't make that the ultimate sacrifice. My brothers and sisters who are no longer here and their families have to deal with them not being here. This day is for them. It's not for me. It's not for like my brother Griff, and any of those others who served. This day is for those who are honored fallen. I remember I taught my kids well. I used to tell them that the reason they can play outside and not worry about bombs, enemy soldiers, etc., is because American soldiers and their sacrifice. Absolutely. That's why I'm wearing my 7-point today. A lot of times I'm usually just wearing my Marine Corps ball cap. I'm wearing my 7-point that I wore when I was in the Marines today because this is going to be a hard one for me. And if I start tearing up, guys, I want to apologize ahead of time. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about my brothers and sisters who never came back. And sometimes I get to watching videos and I'll tear up or start crying because I see things that so many of my brothers and sisters don't get to see again. And that's returning home to see a loved one at an airport or at a base, or how they return home is in a box, and that ain't good. Semper Fi, do or die, devil. Absolutely, Griff. So that's I'm just going to do. I'm not going to do a whole one, whole big explode. We'll just see how it goes. I don't plan on it, but we'll see how this goes. This will probably be the only video I do this weekend, though. I tried to get myself in the mood to do campfire chats. I tried to get myself to do a mood for the bizarre and the unknown. And honestly, I'm just not going to be to the level of doing one good enough for you guys. So I think it's best that I just kick back this weekend, honor the fallen like I always do. But I'm going to try to keep myself kind of busy too, because I don't want to crawl back into something which is a demon I fight with every single day. And this weekend is one that it fight and claws back the hardest because of, I'll be honest with you, because I try to chase memories away. But we need to, man, I don't know how to put this. I'm trying to think this a way that's, being a military and being a veteran, I talk differently. And I think differently than most people who's never served does. So trying to figure out how to put this out in a way, it is hard, but we'll get through it. So I don't know who all in chat who's served. I know Griff has served. Who else has served? And I think it's kind of important, for you guys who don't know. I don't know if haven't really talked about it a whole lot. I have a few times. I swore an oath to the Constitution August 15th, 1999 in Kansas City, Missouri. I served in the military. I became active August 16th, 1999, and I served until August 12th, of 2012. I've done 13 years, 4 deployments. I remember 9/11 very vividly. Um, hey, Kevin. Um, I, I, um, I was in the Marines. I was active duty when 9/11 happened. I remember when we first started going over to that big kitty litter box. I've seen some stuff over there, guys. And it's stuff that I don't wish on my worst enemy. There's things that me and my brothers and sisters have done or seen that it's hard. It's really hard. Um, don't really like to talk about it a whole lot. Um, and the fact that I see what we went through, um, and what we had to do and what we had to endure, and people gaff this day off, really, it doesn't sit well in my craw. You know, if they just knew, if they could experience just, I mean, just a chip of what we experienced while we was in doing the things we did, I think they'd take this holiday a little bit more serious than a free day off of work. um, yeah, that's true, Griff. That's true, buddy. Um, I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff when we wasn't actively at war, man. Um, it's man, I wish there was still, you guys, you wouldn't know the pain that some of these family members go through when their loved ones don't return. It's I've seen it too often. Uh, Seen it way too often, more than I care to mention. Here the little kids. Sorry. Uh, the little kids and the husbands or wives or mothers, fathers, whatever they are, when their loved ones return home, not as they left. It's hard. It's really hard to do that. And I think that's what hurts me so much is I see how people act now on this day because they don't truly know what it is. Yeah, Kathleen, it's it takes a piece out of you, man. It really does. Oh man, yeah, Griff. It does. I've been to way too many egg lays. I've been way too many funerals of brothers and sisters. And I think that's why it's hard. I don't know. Maybe it's because I got too many feelings and too many regrets and too much sadness whenever it comes to this kind of stuff. I don't know. Maybe it hits me harder. Um, but you guys forget that. I mean, there's so many people out there now that's not going to have. I had so many brothers and sisters that missed first steps of their children's or their first words or holidays and never got to experience a single one after that. I have missed. Yeah, it does me too, Griff. That it really does me too. Um, I've missed my kids' first steps and their first words, and I missed a lot of stuff in their life because I was overseas. I was deployed when my ex wife was second ex wife was deployed with my oldest and had to come back because of complications. Um, so I got to be some of hers, but my youngest is she was born like a month or two before my final deployment, and I miss so much of her. I spent the first 15 months of her, about first 17. Not the first. I was around for 2 months before I was deployed, and then 15 months after that, I watched her grow up on a freaking webcam. Uh, yeah. Hey, yeah, it makes me think of my grandpa, my dad, and my uncle, and they had to go through screwed up things exactly. Exactly, Glaze. Oops, hit the wrong one. Sorry. Had to face the reality of the wars. Is no joke. No, it ain't. Y'all think it's just a saying. When I say someone goes to war, they never return. And I don't mean that as they paid the ultimate sacrifice, like what today, what this weekend represents, and what Monday really is. Um, the person that you know before they leave, um, that person dies over in that area, and another another being returns, somebody different. The things that we have to do and see and be a part of, it changes you. It really does change you. But um, the most important thing is the ones who don't. That's why I'm doing this today. And this will be what most likely will be my only video I do this week. Um, it's hard. I don't know if you guys in chat have ever lost a loved one uh, while they served, but it's not easy, man. It's not easy. I've seen way too many military funerals. Um, Way too many funerals. Period. And military ones are hard, man. Because that brother or sister, there's no more memories to be made with them. As a Marine, having a son currently serving in the Marine Reserves, yeah. Um, I was around 10 and saw the 4-inch scar on my dad's stomach and asked how it got there. Then all that had to be revealed is in my dad's thoughts. Yeah. When my dad served, he rarely contacted us. He said it was too hard on him being away. It's Kevin. That statement is so very true, bro. That tape, it's hard. At the same time, communication is vital while we're over there too. So I mean, I know what few communications I got from my ex-wife. Most of my communication I had with my kids was when my mom had done it with my kids. That's what kept me going. I know my son has a hard time facing what he saw in Iraq. It's that for those of you who have not served, until you've been there, you don't understand. And I'm not trying to put you down. So please don't ever take it that way. I'm not putting you down. I'm not trying to say, anything bad. It's just you do not understand. Um, there's a reason why we don't talk a whole lot. I try from time to time, um, but I end up trying to make a joke or playing it off or something else. That's what I end up doing. Because it's hard. It really is hard. There's so many times that I felt that I could have done more to bring home more brothers and sisters, and I always kicked myself in the ass because I said there's more that I could have done. There's so much more I could have done to help bring more back, and there's times that people talk about PTSD. I don't like it. I'm not a part of that. I do have survivor's guilt. I will admit I have survivor's guilt. Um, Yeah, yeah, Kathleen. You can't. The PTSD rubs off on family and loved ones and makes them mad. Yeah, yeah, definitely not what the movies portray. No, it ain't, man. No, it ain't. You've seen the horrors and the evil that comes involved, and what you got to become to survive. Movies don't even can't even. They're nowhere close. I saw my dad the same way. He and him reacted to certain things. I remember the looks on his face. Yeah, yeah. I have to catch myself on live sometimes, Roxanne, because sometimes something like that will trigger a memory. When I was the of age, they were still downsizing Vietnam. Yeah, yeah, and that's another war front that was a bad one, man. Yeah, that was a really bad one. I have nothing but love and respect for all those who serve. Uh, I appreciate that, Griff. I do, but I'm always going to have that, and that's the end. Honoring them is what I'm trying to do by this here. Um, I don't know how else to honor them, but try to get the truth out there. Try to get people to wake up to what this Memorial Day actually means and what it actually is, and remember to raise a glass for them. Raise a glass for the honored fallen. Um, take time out of your fun weekend and remember how it was you came to be here, how you have your freedoms, how you have your luxuries, and how you were able to celebrate this day. Remember this stuff. Yeah, yeah, she doesn't. That I've heard that quite often. I've heard both sides on that Glades, but I've heard that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think she does. It's you can't fully understand it unless you've been through it, man. You really can't. Um, yeah, you really can't. I'm trying to think of. I don't know, man. I'm kind of lost. I thought I had this whole hoo ha planned out in my head. I keep thinking I did write something that I'm going to read towards the end when we do a toast. I just keep thinking back, man. It's important. I want to remember. I mean, there's so many. I mean, there's so many smiles and laughters and shenanigans that we pulled while I was in the military, and I can't do that with some of them no more, man. You know, I remember growing up watching Vietnam on the news, and I was in grade school in the '60s. Yeah, I mean that was a bad one. World War II was bad. World War One was bad. They're all bad, man. They really are all bad. Last of the hard asses was definitely around World War II. Vietnam was just a shit show and it was a bad situation. My friend's dad is in Hanoi, Hilton in cell with McCain. You remember hearing Jane Fonda hated her too. Yeah, Griff, she put the soldiers in bad morale. Yeah, it's a lot of I don't give a damn what freaking politician or whatever freaking famous so-called hoo-ha. They don't mean a hell of beans to me. Ain't none of them more important than I am or you are. I know they like to think it that way. I don't give two rats asses. As far as I'm concerned, they don't have a pot to piss in on what they say. A lot of them try to pretend that I've done this and I'm dude, you ain't done shit. I really don't give a damn what they say. Um, I really don't. Because a lot of them guys have no freaking clue. Is there some politicians and is there some, famous people that have actually experienced what I experienced? Yeah, and you can tell by how they act. And they don't act much more differently than I do. But there's a lot of them out there too that claim they done crap and they didn't, man. And to me, that disgraces our honored fallen. Um, it really does. It disgraces our honored fallen. Um, anyways, so kick back in, and I make that challenge to you. I really make that challenge. If you know of somebody that has lost somebody, um, family member, loved one during time of service, reach out to them. If they're close by, man, take them something to eat. Sit down with them. You know, let them know that they're not alone. Care even less about any celebrity, politician, athlete since being away. Yeah, I really, as far as I'm concerned, they don't have a pot to piss in. If you guys don't know the origins of the term pot to piss in, it means you're so damn poor. They used to sell piss to tanners to tan hides, and that was called a pot to piss in. And if they didn't even, some people couldn't even afford that to sell. That was, you were so poor that you didn't have a pot to piss in. And as far as I'm concerned, that's how a lot of them are. My dad was furious when Jane Fonda went to Hanoi. He said if he could, if he wouldn't have even think first time that what he could do to her. That is anger. I had never seen my dad and all. Yeah, it's. I've heard that a lot. I've heard that a lot, and I've seen some of the crap she did. And sadly, a lot of your politicians and your celebrities, this is a check mark off the checkbook for them. Look how much I care about you. I am doing this for our soldiers. They don't really give two craps about us. They don't really give two craps about the honored fallen. It's a check mark. It's good for their morals. Yeah, it really is, man. Um, I think it's important. I really do. I mean, I've lost family while they've been active, and a lot of my family's, most of my family's military. Um, so I mean, a lot of us are military. We stem through a lot of military history. Throughout history, my family's always been in the military of one fashion or another. I know Vietnam vets that can't even smell Chinese food without going through something. I've heard of that. I was never part of World War II, obviously, but I can tell you that movie Fury. It's hard for me to watch even that movie. Hurt Locker's hard. American Sniper's hard. There's another one I forgot the name of it, man, and it hit hard. They were hunting drug cartel. There was a Marine unit hunting drug cartel, and that one really hit hard. Um, I can't remember the name of the movie. I haven't been able to watch it. It took me like 4 or 5 days to try to watch that movie once. It took me 3 days to watch American Sniper once. The first time I seen Fury, I'd had no way out. I was at a theater with my little baby brother, and I just sat there. And I mean, it was all I could do to stay in and watch that movie. It really was. It was hard. Politicians are the ones who get us into, yeah, they don't give two shits about us. Population control, man. I have been to the wall. I haven't yet. I want to, but I haven't yet. Um, yeah, yeah, it was a wad. Yeah, and you're right. They only care about themselves, man. That's most of your politicians and your athletes or your celebrities. Period, are that way, Kathleen. They really are. It's a check in the check box. It was my senior year when the Vienna Convention got it to halt the shooting, like the others had stopped. Yeah, yeah. It's like for us, but oh man, we'll have an easy day because they're celebrating Ramadan or something like that when we was over there. Man, them yahoos still hit us even during that time. I mean, it was very popular during Vietnam. Vietnam. Oh, we're gonna have such and such day, so it's gonna be we got a ceasefire because of this, and then all of a sudden they attack American, military bases. Oh, that's cool, Griff. Beirut, well, that was a shit show. Beirut was a bad deal. Yeah, yeah, that was a bad deal. It's God, that was a bad ordeal right there. Beirut was a cluster, man. It really was. Yeah, I've never been able to watch war movies. They make me so sad and sick. Even if it's a movie, it really happened, and people's sons died. Yeah, sons and daughters died. Husbands, wives, aunts, uncles. Brothers, sisters. Um, it's hard for me on a different aspect, Kathleen. Especially if there's movies that's pretty damn close to the mark. It's really hard for me to watch. Fury was like I said, Fury was hard. Hurt Locker was hard. American Sniper was hard. That one I can't remember the name of it. That one was really, really hard. I tried to get myself into watching them. And it was sad as I've got them movies, and I've only watched them that one time. I've not been able to go back and watch it again. And I watched videos on TikTok and Facebook and all this other stuff, man, and watching the excitement as the soldier surprises their family member when they come home, and yeah, that makes me tear up. I never got that. I never got that kind of reception when I returned home. Um, I did once with my mom, but I never got a chance for that. I never really had somebody waiting there for me when I returned home. Um, but to see that, but I'm also tearing up because there's so many that don't get that happy moment. You know, Edie, I've been to the wall. It is a sight and feeling that comes over one. Yeah, remembering high school friends who signed up when I was a sophomore and junior who lost their lives during Vietnam. Yeah, it's dude. Yeah, 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 Roxanne, that's hard. I was able to find their names. Tears came to me remembering them. Yeah, I mean that stuff is. I remember stories from World War II vets that went back over to like France during D-Day, and they can still vividly remember every single second of that assault on that beach. They can tell you where what body is lied where what it looked like, the smells, the sounds, what was what. And I mean they were vividly living that memory. And I've heard that so many times from World War II vets. Everyone needs to see the display of hanging dog tags on those names on the wall. Yeah, yeah. That the photo that I had for this, I created that. I went to Discord and created that a little bit ago. I created that just for this show here. Then I put taps with the background, which we'll play that here in a little bit. And I posted that on my Facebook page with that photo. I did that for a reason. Um, I'm hoping it wakes people up. We had a VF Legion member here locally that was at Pearl Harbor when it was attacked. He'll be 104 this year and still comes to the club daily. I'd love to get him on my show, Kevin. I'd love to get him and just talk to him. Do you guys, y'all, man, just realize the history that's in that man? He has seen, I mean, he's part of the era of the last of the badasses. I mean, God bless that man right there. People think I'm weird because I go up to old veterans and I always thank them for their service. And what I always do is I go up there And I'll tell them, thank you for your service. If it was for you that served, I would not have had the opportunity to serve. So I appreciate everything that you done for me. And so many people, now it brings a tear to my heart when I see my kids walk up to a veteran and thank them, because I was like, if there was anything I was able to teach them, at least they got that. You should always thank a veteran for their service. Don't get me wrong. This weekend, this weekend's for the honored fallen, but I always do that, and I still to this day. And I'll walk up and we'll get to talking, and you'll be like, "Hey, you got this, and this." I'm like, "Yeah, I was this, and this," and they're like this, and this. Man, I remember the first time I was coming home from Pearl from I was stationed in Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii. That's Marine Corps Base, Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii. If those you guys are old enough to remember Gilligan's Island, hey William, yeah, hey, if you want to come on and share some of your stuff, William, let me know. I'll send you a link, brother. This is we're kind of today's this short video is basically talking about what Memorial Day actually is. But it's hard. I mean, they it's hard to watch. But yeah, I remember the first time I was getting to come home. I was in the Marines, and I was stationed in Kaneohe Bay. So I was flying out of Honolulu, come back here to Missouri, and my flight got delayed. And me and some World War II Marines got together at the Pearl Harbor, at the E Club Pearl Harbor, because our flight was delayed. And we got to drinking. Then we got to the airport, and then we got to drinking on the plane. And I can't, it breaks my heart, but I can't forget the first time my mom seen me, and I was so drunk that I was leaning on the wall, the corridor off the plane to go up there, because I had literally partied for 16 hours straight with World War II Marines. And their wives were like, we're used to it. They're Marines. Dude, that is, yes. Yes, that was, I watched that movie a lot before I went into the Corps. After that, I don't even think I've watched it since I went in. But yeah, it's pretty damn realistic. We have 3 Confederate here in Indiana County that will be visiting tomorrow. No kidding. That is cool as hell, Kevin. I'd love to get them on the show too. I'd like to. I need to do a show just getting a bunch of old school vets, man. World War II, Vietnam era, and stuff like that. We I'd love to be able to do a show like that. And I used to be a part of a oops, sorry. I used to be a part of a thing called the Sons of the Confederacy. So a little history of my family. During the Civil War, most of my family were Confederates, and most of them were cavalry officers. Oh, no worries, William. No worries. And I mean, I had some Union family, and most of them were cavalry officers too. So that does run deep. Yes, oops. Yes, I mean, I carry the stars and bars. My family we were kind of different when it came to that aspect. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, part of the spirit was lost in war. Yeah, that happens a lot, man, and people don't understand it. And that's kind of what I'm talking about when you go over, you don't fully return. Um, but there's the ones like for this weekend, they never can return. Physically, they never can return. Yeah, I misread your deal, Kevin. I caught myself, but still, man, I'd love to talk to some veterans, from like World War II and stuff like that. And it'd be nice to have a show to get people on from that era, just kind of talk about that stuff. And maybe if I can get something lined up for Veterans Day. next Veterans Day. I might try to do that because I love listening to them guys talk, man. You know, they'll will they share a whole lot on here? Probably not. Not like we do when we're one on one. A lot of us will talk more about what we've seen was a part of one on one with another person who understands it. Um, but still, I mean, just to kind of get on there, some will talk about it. Um, but you know, it is what it is. But no, I mean, always remember what this weekend's about, and go to them family members who's suffering during this time. You know, I had two great grandfathers that served in either side of the Civil War. They are both buried in LBL. Oh wow, they're the ones that didn't get moved. Griff, I take it. So I know there's a lot of graves that didn't get moved when LBL became LBL instead of Land Between the Two Rivers when it became LBL after that. Um, but no, I mean, get out there and find a family that's suffering. I mean, yeah, it tears my heartstrings, big time when I have to see, especially when it comes to little kids, man. And I hear the stories like that letter that little kid wrote to Santa because his father wasn't going to be able to return home, or not to heaven. He wrote his father in heaven, talking about. No, she was. It was a little girl who wrote it, and God, I cried like a baby. I cried like a baby when I heard that because I mean, most of y'all won't understand how true that really is. I mean, you really won't, and that's what this weekend's about, folks. I mean, it's just we should always honor our honored fallen. Um, take time out of this weekend to do that. Take time out of this weekend to recall, any loved ones that you had that had paid the ultimate price for us to have this weekend, to have this freedom. Remember, pay your respects to the family that you know that had lost somebody, even if you didn't, or even if you have yourself. Go and let them know how special they are. Yeah, that's cool. So they're still there. Oh wow. So they're the ones that didn't get moved, Griff. Oh wow. Yeah, it's I really encourage people to do that. I really do. And once again, I'm sorry about the short notice on this live. I wasn't going to do anything, but something pulled at me that I needed to do a video um, about what Memorial Day is and what it means to those who value what this day truly means, value the sacrifices that they had. I mean, just because say just because they lost a loved one and it wasn't them who was lost during this time doesn't mean that family didn't sacrifice. Them family paid that ultimate sacrifice along with that brother or that man or woman who died doing what they do, and that's protecting our country. Yeah, remember the gold starred mothers, absolutely, Kevin. You know, they paid that ultimate sacrifice along with whoever it was that they lost. They're just as meaningful and just as special and just as important as the ones who fell. I know one relative in the Civil War had shell shock. Yeah, I mean that's a common thing. I had that issue for a long time. I've learned how to overcome it. Now, do I still get surprised from time to time? Yes, I still get surprised from time to time. But I had an issue with that coming back. I really did, especially if it caught me off guard. It was really bad when it caught me off guard. And I've got better at it. I really have. So I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, my phone's blowing up for some reason. I'm um But yeah, take time, man. I beg you, please take time to go spend some time with that family. Let them know that their sacrifice is not in vain. That people still remember, and people are still grateful for that sacrifice that they went through. I can't stress that enough. That is so important. That really is so important. You know, I'll be making a phone call here in a little bit, like I do every Memorial Day, and usually, I mean, it's just. I'll admit, this is the time when that demon crawls at me the most, and I do a little bit more of adult beverages than usual. Um, but I'll be making phone calls and toasting, and I've got a good brother of mine, and I've known him since I was 16, and we've literally spilt the same blood in the same mud, just different time frames. And he was a Marine too, and we always get together on the Marine Corps birthday. Generally, as long as we can, we get together on the Marine Corps birthday. We'll always do something for Veterans Day. We always try to, at least if we can't do anything, we give a phone call and a toast to each other. Man, toast to honored fallen. And which I forgot my deal. Tag on it. I'll have to pour it later. I can't pour it later. It's too important. Hey, folks, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm going to share this kind of something I do for Memorial Day. I thought I grabbed it and I didn't. So give me a minute and I'll be right back. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Um, one thing I do every Memorial Day is I pour a drink for the honored fallen, and usually I do it by myself. But we're all part of this bizarre and unknown universe, and we're all kind of family together. So I ain't saying you got to do it, but one thing this is an old military tradition. We always pour a drink for the honored fallen, and so I'm gonna. Is it starting to rain? I'm going to share that moment with you guys. So this is the drink I'm going to set aside for our honored fallen. And that's something I encourage everybody else to do too if you want to. It don't have to be of adult beverages. It can be of whatever you want. For us, traditionally, it's an adult beverage. Um, I'll leave that there. In case I got any brothers and sisters sitting with me watching this, and that's their drink. But try to take time out this weekend to remember them, folks. I can't stress that enough. Really, really take the time out to do that. Faith, family, and country. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. You know, I know you came in here on a little bit of part of that, but I mean, I was trying to tell people you can't understand what we've been through and why this holiday is so hard on us. The ones who can't forget either are the nurses and the doctors who lost their lives trying never to fight, also helping the soldiers. Yeah, I mean they're a veteran too. You know your docs and your nurses, they're veterans just as much as us combat vets are. You know, I was infantry. I was infantry before I was POG. You know, so but I mean doc, what we call our corpsman, we called him Doc. Our Navy corpsman was our doc. That was our field doc. So we called him Doc. You know, the first one I had was Doc George. Hell of a cool Navy guy. For a Navy guy, he was pretty cool. I liked him for, he was Navy. It was all right. We needed Doc. You don't mess with the Marines, Doc. You want to piss off a Marine, and you want to get unalived real quick to meet your creator. Mess with the Marines, Doc, and see what the hell happens. You don't mess with Doc. You know, that's why I love the shit out of Kerry Davis. I mean, even though he was Air Force, he's still a Doc. And I guarantee you, if he was the one saving our asses on the battlefield, if somebody messed with Doc, even though he's not a Marine or he's not a Navy corpsman, that's a real good way to find out who your maker was really quick. You don't mess with Doc. You know, where Marines are very protective of their docs. You know, it's funny, man. I remember. No, I better not. I can't share that on YouTube. That'll get me in trouble so quick if I shared that story. Doc's helped my ass out of a lot of tight situations. Oh, Doc George, man. I kind of miss him. But I don't know, I lost track of him when he transferred. I'd love to be able to reconnect with Doc George if I could never find him. I can't remember his name, man. I just remember him as Doc George. That's what we always called him. You know. So I get it. I mean, and so like Kerry Davis is, Dark Angel Medical. I'm a huge fan of his products. And he's not a sponsor of the show by any means. I have a lot of respect for him and what he makes, and I really like what he makes. So therefore, I don't mind talking about it. And he will be mentioned in some of my books. There are so many that died over there and didn't know it. Let's not forget all that. Exactly, William. There is so many of our unnamed soldiers over there that we don't know what happened to them. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Even if they're POW, I mean, we don't know. There's still people don't realize there's still Vietnam POWs held in POW camps in Vietnam. My dad was the offensive coordinator for my middle school football team, and at practice, the rocket club shot off a rocket during the practice, and it made him tense, to say the least. Had to tell him it was. Yeah, that happens a lot, man. Glaze, that really happens a lot. Yeah, it really does. And these young kids I work with, they don't understand that. I've had moments where I was at work, caught off guard by a gunshot, somebody shooting at a groundhog or something. I mean, my reaction is I'm grabbing for something because I'm about to defend myself. And they don't understand because they ain't been there. They think, oh, this guy's nuts, blah, blah, blah. No, they have not been through what I've been through. They have not seen what I've seen. They've not been a part of what I've been a part of. They have no freaking clue what it is. And when the moments that I'm caught off guard and I'm doing that, I'm not being crazy. It's just that is reaction. That is ingrained into us so hard from the shit that we've been through that happens from time to time. Am I better about it now? Yes, I'm a lot better now than I used to be. But I'm not going to lie, it still happens from time to time. People people look at you crazy because you're that way. I understand. I understand because I go through it. I've been through it myself. Oh man. But I don't know how much more I want to do on this. You guys want me to keep going, or do you? I mean, I don't know. It's this video. This is a hard live for me. This is a hard life. I'm trying. So you guys have to forgive me if this ain't the quality that you're used to. But I'm really stepping out of my comfort zone to do something like this, and I'm trying to put on a smile. But I mean, I did write something for. It's not the greatest thing I've ever written or written. I guess is a proper way to put it. It's not the greatest thing I ever written, but it's something that was laid on my heart, and I'd wrote it. But I think it's pretty. I think we covered this pretty good. Thanks, Griff. If y'all wouldn't mind, I want to take a moment, get yourself a drink, whatever it is, water, tea, adult beverage, it don't matter. There's something to have a toast with. Oh, you're welcome, Kevin. I felt it. I really felt a pull to my heart to do this. I mean, I'm no big fish out there. There's plenty of people who's got more followers than I do, but I felt this is kind of strong. And I'll give you guys a minute and grab you guys a drink, whatever it is, tea, water, alcoholic beverage. It don't matter. Adult beverage. It don't matter. But I want to read something I wrote, and this is kind of a prayer slash toast to our honored fallen. And I apologize. It was just something that came to me. I wrote this in a matter of about a minute, 2 minutes at the most. I'll probably work on it, kind of get refined, add more to it. I don't know, but this is kind of a prayer and a toast all in one. So if you guys are ready, let me know. I'll kick that off. I want to make sure everybody has the opportunity to be a part of this if they want to. Everybody ready? Here it goes. Uh, Give me a second. I just found something I need to make a correction on. There we go. To my fallen brothers and sisters, save a place for me in Valhalla. There I'll rejoin you. There we will fight, feast, drink, and tell stories of our adventures. Keep guarding the gates of heaven until it's my time to join the watch. Until then, brothers and sisters, I'll keep your memories alive and wait until it's time for me to join you on our new duty assignment. To the families, I hope you know how much a hero your fallen is. They have paid the ultimate price. There's times that I wish that it was me and not them. I hope you know that they look down upon us and smile. They are still serving, even if we can't see them. I pray as well as that you find some measure of peace with this. Know that they still live on through many of us. Skull. And that's for modern fallen. And I'll do some more work on it. That was just something that kind of came in, but I still get the feeling that I want to do more to it and add more to it. So I'm going to do that. So if you guys wouldn't mind, part of what I want to do today, let's have a moment of silence for our fallen. And I'm going to play you the clip I made. I thank you guys for coming with me, kind of sharing this moment. To all those you who may watch this later on, I hope you guys enjoy it. And sorry, this is probably not the best quality, but it's a very touchy subject. So, with that being said, y'all, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and I'll catch you guys next weekend. Uh, I personally won't be putting out no videos this week. If somebody wants me to come on, I'll join them. I'll do that. It's just I'm not in the right mindset to produce something good for you guys. So I personally will not be putting out no videos this weekend. Um, but if you want me to come on one of your shows, we'll talk. I'll do that. I don't have a problem. So I hope you guys remember this weekend and reach out to those who need it. And as always, guys, much love to you. To all my new followers, I'm up around 191 now, I think it is. Thank you so much for everybody who follows me, and thank you all to my new. I'll you want me to come on tonight, brother? I'll be there. Yeah, brother, I don't have an issue with that. I really don't. I'm sorry, I kind of teared up once on this video, guys. I apologize. It's a hard video for me. Uh, but let's remember our honored fallen, and just keep them in our prayers, man. Till next time, peace, peace, love, and blessings to you all.